The attacker struck him directly in the neck. Kant thought he was as good as dead, but then he realized it was something like a syringe. His vision began to blur and soon he lost consciousness. A few hours later he was awakened by the sound of a phone ringing. To his surprise, he was still at home and there were no signs of a robbery. As a special forces operative, Kant quickly pieced things together. The target wasn't him, it was his son. He rushed to his son's room only to find it empty. His son had been taken and was being held captive in a warehouse. Above the warehouse there was a gas pipe filled with poison. The only way his son would survive was if Kant agreed to do a task for the kidnappers. Clearly they were threatening him. Left with no choice, Kant complied. Following the instructions, he arrived at the warehouse where he found a box on the floor. Inside the box were complete weapons and gear. As the warehouse door opened, a bulletproof SUV appeared before him. He followed the route given to him and drove to the designated location, a high-end hotel. The kidnappers told him that two drug cartels were currently holding an alliance ceremony inside the hotel. His mission was to kill everyone in the hotel. Concerned for his son's safety, Kant barged in with a gun. Once the job was done, he returned to the car and left the scene. He called John, demanding that he keep his promise and release his son. But what Kant didn't know was that John was actually a drug lord. The reason John had kidnapped his son was to force Kant into eliminating his competition. Even if Kant were to die, John would suffer no loss. John was thrilled to see his rivals taken down, not expecting the plan to succeed so well. After the mission, John assigned Kant another task. This time he needed to take out a top-tier drug lord. Once the job was done, his son would be freed. The news of the three cartels being wiped out had already reached the drug lord. He didn't believe that one man could take down so many people. Kant arrived at the drug lord's territory, which was in a vast desert. After strapping 2 grenades to his body and checking his weapons, he was ready. He charged in, determined to complete the mission. However, just as John was watching with satisfaction, Kant suddenly collapsed. While John was disappointed, Jack, standing beside him, breathed a sigh of relief. This was one less problem to deal with. Kant was captured by the drug lord. He didn't know it was part of the drug lord's plan to let him in. The goal was to capture him alive and interrogate him about the people behind the plot. Unfortunately, Kant had no idea who the mastermind was, but he could tell from their conversation that the person was likely another drug lord. The leader guessed who it might be, and Kant finally learned the name of the person behind everything. Taking advantage of the situation, Kant launched a surprise attack. He managed to knock out the drug lord and his men. John, meanwhile, prepared to go rescue his son. On the other side, John had already opened a bottle of champagne, celebrating his conquest of the criminal world. But little did he know Kant had already tracked him down.